Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us. In the headlines, immigration seizes Senator Natasha Akpoti's passport at airport. APC slams Mr. Peter Obi, accuses him of jubilating over Nigeria's challenges. President Tinubu appoints 5 new permanent secretaries. Federal government orders immediate action to end resident doctor strike. Information Commissioner assures Abia specialist hospitals will meet world-class standard. On business news, NNPC says Nigeria is on track to hit 2 million barrels per day oil production by 2027. Fitting Healthcare reports Q3 profit of 2.9 billion naira, gross 9-month profit 132%. On foreign news, airstrikes reported in Gaza City despite ceasefire. Pentagon chief says U.S. to work closely with South Korea on nuclear submarines. On sports news, matchroom boxing to stage its historic first ever event in Ghana on December 20. President of World Athletics voices support for 2030 cross-country inclusion. Now the news. The senator representing Kogi Central, Senator Natasha Akpoti of the People's Democratic Party, has alleged that immigration officers seized her passport at the airport, preventing her from traveling out of the country. Over the weekend, Senator Akpoti celebrated a second anniversary in the Senate by commissioning projects in Kogi Central. The lawmaker went live on social media at the airport as she questioned immigration officials over the alleged confiscation of her passport. She accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of giving the order for her passport to be seized. She described the action as an unlawful restriction of her movement and a gross violation of her fundamental rights. According to the senator, it was only after the intervention of a certain influential person that her passport was released the last time such an incident occurred. She claimed that President Bola Tinubu had instructed the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF Lateef Fagbemi, to withdraw all cases in the courts filed by the federal government against her. Akpoti-Uduaghan's passport was later released by the immigration officials. The Kogi legislator was involved in a high-profile dispute with Senator Akpabio in February over seat reallocation in the Senate, which escalated into her 6-month suspension effective March 6, 2025. She, however, resumed her duties on September 24, 2025. The leadership of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Lagos State has accused the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, of making it a habit to rejoice over the challenges faced by Nigeria. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the spokesperson for the Lagos State chapter of the APC, Mr. Sheye Oladejo, said the party has observed Mr. Obi's latest grandstanding over the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern by the United States of America's President Donald Trump. Mr. Oladejo alleged that in his usual manner, rather than demonstrate statesmanship, Mr. Obi attempted to turn a sensitive national issue into political theater with his reaction to the U.S. pronouncement. Also querying the long time it took the former governor to react to such delegate pronouncement, Mr. Oladejo said Mr. Obi only reacted out of public pressure, thereby exposing his double standards on pertinent national issues. He claimed that Mr. Obi's late reaction stems from sour politics and heartbreak over President Tinubu's emergence as Nigeria's president through the 2023 presidential poll. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 5 new permanent secretaries to fill existing vacancies in the Federal Civil Service. A statement issued by Director, Information and Public Relations, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Eno Olotu, said the newly appointed permanent secretaries are Ibrahim Abdul Karim Ozi, FCT, Eze Mama John, Chidi Ebere, Imo State, Garba Abdul Sule Usman, North Central, Mohammed Musa Ishiaku, Northeast, and Ukaire Binyerem Chibogo, Southeast. Mrs. Olotu said the appointment followed a rigorous and transparent selection process in line with the administration's commitment to meritocracy and excellence in the civil service. The new permanent secretaries bring a wealth of experience and expertise to their roles, which will further strengthen the delivery of public services and support the government's development agenda. While congratulating the newly appointed permanent secretaries, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack commended President Tinubu for his unwavering commitment to entrenching the principles of transparency, meritocracy, and professionalism in the civil service. She emphasized that these appointments reflect the administration's dedication to fostering a competent and result-oriented public service that meets the needs of Nigerians. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to take all necessary steps to ensure resident doctors end their indefinite strike and return to work immediately. Minister of State for Health, Mr. Isiaq Salako, announced the directive in Abuja, saying the president mandated swift resolution of the dispute that has paralyzed operations in federal and state hospitals. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors NARD began an indefinite strike on November 1 after a 30-day ultimatum over unresolved demands, including improved welfare, payment of arrears, and better working conditions. Mr. Salako said the government has been engaging NARD to address its 19-point demands, disclosing that 21.3 billion naira had been released to clear arrears and allowances, with another 11.9 billion naira being processed. He added that 60% of affected doctors had been paid and 23,000 new health workers have been recruited. Abia state government has said that it's currently reconstructing 3 specialist hospitals in the state to meet international standards. The State Commissioner for Information, Prisoke Kanu, who made this disclosure while addressing journalists in Umuahia, explained that the specialist hospital would be installed with some modern innovations as seen abroad. Prince Kanu, who briefed journalists on the outcome of the State Executive Council meeting, disclosed that the state governor, Dr. Alex Oti, has directed the relevant departments to ensure that the solar power project at the SDG hospital located in Ugunabo is operationalized immediately, adding that with the directive, the hospital staff and patients would experience constant power supply. He used the opportunity to disclose that the government has approved the implementation of the Consolidated Health Salary Structure (CONHES) for local government workers in the state. The approval of the CONHES, he said, is part of ongoing reforms in Abia State Civil Service. He disclosed that the functionalization of the second batch of 52 renovated and equipped primary health care PHTs is in progress across the state. Prince Kanu assured that the administration of Dr. Alex Oti would not issue a change in terms of land acquired for projects, stressing that any land that the government acquires will be used for the project for which it was acquired. According to him, about 500 nurses are undergoing documentation, having been recruited through the transparent process of the state government. This is ComfortTV.channel news. We return shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned to ComfortTV.channel news. On business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) has reaffirmed that Nigeria is on course to increase crude oil production to 2 million barrels per day by 2027 and 3 million barrels per day by 2030. Executive Vice President Upstream Mr. Udi Intia made this known at the 2025 Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference (ADIPEC), hosted by the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company (ADNOC). The 41st edition of ADIPEC, themed Energy, Intelligence, Impact, brought together global energy technology and finance stakeholders from November 3 to 6. Mr. India identified 3 major forces shaping upstream oil and gas sector: energy transition pressures, industry fragmentation, and rapid technological advancements. He noted that innovation, particularly through artificial intelligence and digital solutions, will enhance efficiency and unlock value from mature oil fields. He reaffirmed NNPC's commitment to reducing carbon emissions while maintaining responsible production, stressing that Africa contributes less than 3% of global emissions. Mr. Intia also highlighted efforts to optimize refinery operations and foster hybrid partnership that attracts co-investment in upstream ventures. He assured Nigerians upstream strategy is focused on balancing energy security profitability, and environmental responsibility. Fitson Healthcare PLC has reported a pre-tax profit of 2.9 billion naira for the third quarter of 2025, slightly higher than the 2.87 billion naira posted in the same period last year, according to its unaudited financial statements. For the 9 months ended September 30, 2025, Fitson's pre-tax profit surged by 131.7% to 11.9 billion naira, up from 5.13 billion naira in the corresponding period of 2024, driven by strong revenue growth across its product segments. The company's Q3 revenue grew by 35.4% year-on-year to 30.44 billion naira, supported by robust sales in its ethical and over-the-counter OTC pharmaceutical lines, with domestic sales accounting for nearly all revenue. Despite rising cost and forex losses, Fitson maintained profit growth as gross profit increased by 31.2%, while operating profit rose 8.2%. Fitson maintained profit growth as gross profit increased by 31.2%, while operating profit rose 8.2%. At the close of trading on November 3, 2025, Fitson shares were priced at 42 naira, representing a 170.97% year-to-date gain, underscoring investor confidence in the company's performance despite macroeconomic challenges. On foreign news, Israeli fighter jets carried out airstrikes in Gaza City despite a ceasefire with Hamas that has largely halted 2 years of fighting, Palestinian media reported. 2 attacks hit the eastern part of the city, though the Israeli military has not commented. The strike came hours after 3 Palestinians were reportedly shot dead by Israeli forces near Rafah in southern Gaza. Since the ceasefire took effect on October 10, at least 238 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks, while Israel says 3 of its soldiers have died. About 200 U.S. troops are stationed in southern Israel to monitor the truce and support plans for an international stabilization force. U.S. Defense Secretary Mr. Pete Hegseth on Tuesday said that the U.S. will work closely with South Korea on nuclear submarines and called ties with Seoul vital. Speaking at a joint news conference alongside South Korean Defense Minister Mr. An Gyu back after the annual security consultative meeting in Seoul, Hegseth said 2 sides agreed to strengthen defense cooperation, modernize the alliance, and expand joint industrial collaboration. On Thursday, President Donald Trump said that he has approved South Korea's plan to build a nuclear-powered submarine. Mr. Hegseth called the alliance between South Korea and the U.S. stronger than ever and said for the first time the countries agreed to maintain and repair the U.S. warships in Korean shipyards. He added that during the meeting, the 2 sides discussed practical steps they can take to modernize the alliance. Onto the world of sports, the world's leading boxing promotion, Matchroom Boxing, is set to make history with its first ever African event on Saturday, December 20, at the Legon Sports Stadium in Accra, Ghana. The landmark night will be headlined by a thrilling all-British light heavyweight clash between Craig Spider Richards and Dan Super Aziz as Matchroom's partners with Legacy Rise Promotions to bring top-tier boxing to the continent. Matchroom Sport Chairman Eddie Hearn described the event as a December to remember, highlighting it as a major step in expanding the promotion's global footprint and celebrating the passion of African boxing fans. Richard, who previously challenged world champion Dimitri Bivol and recently secured a knockout victory over Padraig McCrory, expressed excitement at the chance to headline in Ghana, home to boxing legends like Azuma Nelson. He said he plans to deliver a statement performance worthy of the occasion. His opponent Aziz, a former British, called the bout a celebration of heritage and hard work, noting the significance of taking their South London rivalry to African soil. Beyond the headline fights, the night will showcase Africa's proud boxing tradition and rising stars, including Ghana's own Theo Alotti, who continues to build on the nation's rich fighting legacy. World Athletics President and Olympic legend Mr. Sebastian Coe has revealed that he has discussed the possibility of introducing new innovations to the Olympic Games with International Olympic Committee (IOC) President Kirsty Coventry, describing it as a good opportunity. One of the key ideas on the consideration is the inclusion of cross-country running in the Winter Olympics. The event last featured in the Summer Olympics in 1924 but was dropped due to harsh conditions during the Paris Games. Moving it to the winter edition, Coe said, would make the sport more inclusive and could open the door for greater participation from African nations where cross-country running thrives. Speaking in New York over the weekend during the city's marathon, the president told the Associated Press that the proposal is being seriously explored. Mr. Coe, who serves on the IOC's Olympic Program Working Group, said the body is assessing ways to make the Games more engaging by adding or removing sports and exploring crossovers between traditional summer and winter disciplines. If approved, the move could mark a major milestone for African athletes who are rarely represented at the Winter Olympics and have yet to win a medal. It will also signal a historic blending of summer and winter sports, expanding the appeal and accessibility of the Olympic movement. And that's our news bulletin for the evening. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. Immigration seizes Senator Natasha Akpoti's passport at airport. APC slams Mr. Peter Obi, accuses him of jubilating over Nigeria's challenges. President Tinubu appoints 5 new perm secretaries. Federal government orders immediate action to end resident doctor strike. Information Commissioner assures Abia Specialist Hospital will meet world-class standards. On business, NNPC says Nigeria is on track to hit 2 million barrels per day oil production by 2027. Foreign airstrikes reported in Gaza City despite ceasefire. And on sports, Matchroom Boxing to stage its historic first-ever event in Ghana on December 20. Thank you for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.